Namaste, my name is Shailaja. In today's video, I'll be talking about meditation, the different types of meditations, the symptom one experiences during meditation. Apart from that, I'll be briefly talking about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic Samadhi. Meditation is a spiritual practice which affects the mind and body of a person. There are many different kinds of meditations. In meditation, a person strives to sit and concentrate or focus his mind on a maybe on a particular form or particular mantra or just being in the present moment. In this way, the person tries to root out a lot of unwanted thoughts and discipline the mind and take it to a state of thoughtlessness. Doing regular meditation for some period of time on a daily basis affects us positively. It increases our physical and mental well being. It makes us relaxed. It depends on what kind of meditation you're doing. There's a lot of psychological balance that can be achieved through meditation. It helps us to cope with a lot of stress and illness. It improves the overall quality of life. So, meditation is all about the interaction between the mind, body, the behavior, and integrating all these so that the person becomes a more physically, emotionally, and mentally healthy person. There are many types of meditative practices. What the person is trying to achieve from a meditative practice decides the kind of practice the person will adopt. For few, it is spiritual goals. For few, it is mental and emotional well being. For few, it is about curbing unnecessary thoughts. And for few, it is about improving the quality of life. So, when somebody has a lot of spiritual goals where they want to evolve spiritually, then the first kind of meditative practice, which is yoga meditation, in this kind of practice, a person uses asanas, mantra chanting, and pranayama along with meditation and under the guidance of a guru so that they can evolve spiritually and they can realize their self. So the goal here is spiritual evolution. The next comes moving meditation, which is something like Tai Chi or Qigong, which is done for medicinal reasons and for overall emotional well being. Meditative practices like the mindfulness meditation and Zen meditation, they aim at bringing the person into the present moment so that they are not too much lost into their thoughts that are either in their past or which are in their future. So instead of swinging between the past and the future, the person tries to focus and be in the present moment. Transcendental meditation is something that has been designed by Mahesh Yogi. In this particular form of meditation, a person sits twice a day for 20 minutes and concentrates on a silent mantra which runs in the mind. And this helps the person to keep himself in a peaceful state. Vipassana meditation is a Buddhist technique and it aims to integrate the mind with the body. It encourages a person to be non judgmental of their own thoughts, of a situation, so that they can be in a witness mode and see the truth in the situation. Then comes the chakra meditation, which is done generally in a Kundalini process where a person focuses on a chakra and meditates on the chakra. Mantra meditation is also done for spiritual purposes where the person is trying to connect with God. Candle gazing meditation helps a person to focus their attention so that they can still the mind. Then guided meditation is all about bringing the mind into a happy state, a joyous state. and relieving stress from the person's system. In guided meditation, the person is listening or is being guided through a meditative technique which brings that person into a happy state. It makes that person feel happy in a strenuous movement. For example, it goes like this. You're standing on a beach. You can feel the softness of the sand beneath your feet. You can hear the ocean sounds, the cool breeze. So, this is a very rejuvenating, a very relaxing kind of technique which takes the person into a very blissful and a peaceful state. Next comes binaural beats, and here the person listens to a particular frequency, so that these frequencies have an effect on our chakras and on different parts of our body. And meditation music, where we use nature's beautiful sounds like the rain, flowing water, many jungle sounds, which take us into a relaxed state immediately. When somebody adopts a meditative practice for a given period of time on a daily basis, say half an hour to 1 hour, it has a very positive effect on our mental and physical well being. We can curb the depletion of the gray matter in our brain, and then we sleep better, our physical health is better, then we are able to curb unnecessary thoughts in our mind. We become better people because we develop a lot of empathy and compassion, and we this is because of the amygdala, that is the small area in the brain which shrinks. And when this part shrinks, the person does not get anger or fear unnecessarily. And he does not go into fight and flight mechanism unnecessarily. Because of which the person develops a lot of positive qualities, and this helps the person to come out of the basic animal instincts or come out of the animal type fear which we experience and evolve into a much higher spiritual being. When meditation becomes a daily practice over a prolonged period of time, person can experience a lot of symptoms in his body because of these meditative practices. For example, some might feel a lot of fear, and this happens because the system is releasing away a lot of unwanted fear. And once that fear gets released, a person automatically relaxes into the meditative state. Few experience sort of joy and bliss after meditation. For some, they experience a lot of movements and kriyas and jerks, and this is because when we experience a pain or trauma or some negative emotion, in this gets stored as cellular memory in various parts of our body. So during meditation, this is getting released, and while this is getting released, this anger or trauma or pain is getting released from the system, we experience it in the form of jerks or movements, seeing a lot of different colors and seeing visions. If your visions are divine in nature or they contain mystical symbols, then it is a good sign that you are progressing. But otherwise, other kinds of visions which you see, you can simply witness and ignore them. And the reason why I think that people see colors in meditation is because your chakras in your body are connected very closely with glands. For example, the thymus gland is connected with the heart chakra, and the thyroid gland is connected with your Vishuddhi chakra. And when there's some kind of hormonal change internally, and when a chakra gets affected because of these hormonal changes, that might be a reason why few see lights during meditation. Hearing mantras and sounds, especially Om. Om is the calling of your soul. So many who are into deep meditation, they hear Om and other few sounds which help you know that you're progressing spiritually, especially high pitched noises. And when a person focuses on a particular area on the body, it might turn cold or warm. And a person might experience vibrations on their body when they are evolving spiritually. They can feel drowsy or numbness because of prolonged meditative practices, and they even lose time when they go into deep meditative states. Now, all these experiences are part of the meditative experiences. Many misunderstand these experiences to be Kundalini awakening experiences. These are not Kundalini awakening experiences. Here you can see a similar pattern between the meditative and Kundalini experiences, but these are not Kundalini experiences. I'll make a separate video where you can understand the difference between meditative and Kundalini experiences. Patanjali Maharishi, he has designed the Ashtanga Yoga path for people who seek spiritual development. This path, it provides a person with the basic structure of spiritual evolution. There are 8 limbs to this yoga, and the 8 limbs being yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. I will briefly describe these various limbs of yoga. Yamas are restraints that are imposed on a person so that the person has a proper ethical conduct. Things like not indulging in stealing or not being dishonest. The entire list of the 10 things is written here. So the person maintains purity and he is sexually pure and he maintains a moderate diet and does not get greedy. He maintains kindness and stays away from cruelty. So these 10 things which are listed here, they they are more like an ethical code for the person, that things which he should not indulge in. And niyamas are practices which the person should get involved in so that he becomes a better person. Things like contentment, purity, faith, then some kind of spiritual practice, reading spiritual literature, taking sacred vows, then doing some kind of tapas, meditation, or japas, or some kind of activities which connect him with the divine. Next comes the asana. Asana is the posture of seating when we are in a meditative state. Generally, it is recommended that when a person is very serious in pursuing the spiritual path, they must be able to maintain the posture of asana. Any asana which he is sitting in during a meditative practice, it should be for 3 hours. Otherwise, a person cannot keep his meditation focused. So, initially, a person can start with 15 minutes and keep on adding additional time. And over a period of time, he gets comfortable sitting in the same posture for nearly 3 hours. That is required for a good meditative practice. Then comes pranayama. These are breathing exercises, and these have a lot of effect on our subtle bodies. So, pranayama helps to cleanse away the tamas or the ignorance that is there within our physical and subtle bodies. And this should be done under the guidance of a guru who can monitor the person, give them the right pranayama or breathing exercises as the person is evolving spiritually. When a person follows yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama correctly, they gain mastery over their physical body. Then comes pratyahara, that is withdrawal of senses from the external world. A person is generally caught up in the external world, the anxieties, the pleasure, the joy, the pain that comes from the external world, and is actively involved in the external world. As long as the senses are involved in the external world, a person cannot progress spiritually. So in pratyahara, at this stage, the person is withdrawing his senses from the external world and focusing within his own system. Next comes dharana. In dharana, a person is trying to increase his concentration by focusing maybe on a particular object, maybe a candlelight, or maybe they gaze at the water, or maybe on a picture, or a flower, or a deity, or their guru. So, a person is trying to put their entire concentration on an object or on a mantra So in various ways, they're trying to still their mind and bring their focus to a particular point. But in dharana, you can have some thoughts coming up in the mind. Next comes dhyana. Dhyana is a state of meditation where the person now is able to meditate, and he goes into deep states of meditations where he is no longer thinking, he loses sense of time and place, and he is not aware of what is happening around him while he is in deep meditation. Next comes samadhi. Samadhi is a state in which the mind is in the most concentrated form or the concentrated state. And here, the awareness of the meditator, the process of meditation, and the object of meditation have all merged into one. So, from knowledge, you have become knowingness. So, in states of samadhi, the person has access to higher wisdom, higher information, which it's a superconscious state where a normal mind cannot enter into those realms of knowledge or those realms of information. There are three types of samadhi a person can achieve. First is the Tamasic samadhi, next is rajasic samadhi, and next comes sattvic samadhi. Tamasic samadhi happens to people who have gone into deep meditative practices, who have meditated for many hours, say from 2 to 12 hours in a day for a long period of time, say from a decade to 2 decades. What happens with them is that they enter the state of tamasic samadhi if the tamas or ignorance within the system is not yet removed. If the person is meditating on their own without the guidance of a guru and without the proper pranayama practices, which are important or necessary to cleanse the system, then the chances of a person entering tamasic samadhi is much higher. When a person does a lot of meditation for many hours over a prolonged period, then after some time, what happens is if he is not gaining any new information in the meditation or not experiencing blissful states, the chances are that this person will go into a negative state. They will have emotional detachment to things that are happening outside, general disinterest. They will withdraw. They will not experience any joy. Rather, the past traumas keep surfacing. They feel a lot of inner pain that is getting released. Then a lot of they are reeling under a lot of negative emotions and mood swings. They keep on crying for days, or they're very angry, and then they go into depression. So I've heard few of them calling this state as a dark night of the soul. And once a person emerges from this phase, he starts seeing the end of this bad phase and he recovers from it, it again comes back. So he's caught up in this loop of this bad phase because the kind of samadhi state that this person is experiencing is tamasic samadhi. The tamasic samadhi only leads to a void state. So no matter how many hours that person meditates, he will not experience any new knowledge or any blissful states in his body. Rather, this kind of meditation will be more like a sleep state where when he emerges from this state, he feels he does not remember what has happened during that long period of meditation and his body still feels heavy and sleepy. So this is called tamasic samadhi, and prolonged practice of tamasic samadhi, it leads a person to a state of void. Only void can be experienced here, not knowledge or enlightenment. So it is very important to have a guru who will remove the tamas or the ignorance in your system before you reach the states of samadhi with various yogic practices. When a person's system is cleared of the tamas or the ignorance, then he experiences rajasic samadhi. In rajasic samadhi, this person is able to see forms. colors, visions. He has visions about the inner workings of the physical body. He is able to see the subtle body, that is the mental sheath, the things that are there in the mental sheath. He is able to see the intellectual sheath. He is able to understand the workings of these sheaths. Then the bliss sheath. Then he gains access to a lot of information from the universe, direct knowledge. Next comes Satvik Samadhi. In Satvik Samadhi, this is all about blissful states. It's all about experiencing that states of divine bliss within your body, where the heart is full of love and bliss, and the person is able to reach super conscious states. The rajasic and the sattvic samadhi states, they remove away any last bit of ignorance or samskaras, or that is mental impressions that the person carries, so that the person can achieve liberation from life and death. In these states of samadhi, that is the rajasic and sattvic states of samadhi, the person gains knowledge. His discretion levels are high, and now he knows the real from the unreal. That is the Purusha from the Prakriti. Purusha being the eternal soul, the thing that does not change. Whereas Prakriti is everything that changes, which is transient. So now the person has the knowledge to discriminate between the eternal and the things that change. Because of this, he does not get attracted or pulled down to lower levels of consciousness. In today's video, I spoke about meditation, the different types of meditation, and the effect it has on our body. I spoke about the 8 limbs of yoga in brief. I spoke about the different kinds of samadhi a person can experience and what happens in these states of samadhi. Thank you.